All right, kicked off again. All right, B4, B4. And there was a Pharaoh that came in the land that knew not Joseph. He knew not Joseph, and so now he begins to oppress the people. 400 and something years has gone by now, and God is in the process of doing some things with a group of people, taking them to a place. And so I just wanted to kind of tie all this stuff in with Joseph. And as we finish up this presentation, I'm sorry that we had to do it in splits, 3B, 3B1, 3B2, 3B3, 3B4. But sometimes that's the nature of advanced technology. It just goes in and out. So we've been having problems with is I don't know. We have been having a problem with the internet, so I guess it's with Facebook or the internet. We've been having problems. So I'm just gonna kind of tie it in before we go off again and just finish this up real quick. But I want you, as you take a look at the life of Joseph, and you examine the life of Joseph, the story really helps us to understand that God will use you for a purpose that's bigger than you. And sometimes God's will for your life and what you go through is to be able to put you in a position where others can be taken to the next position. And sometimes you are the intermediary to bring the past into the present so the present can go to the future. So Joseph was the connecting link from Abraham's promise to the children of Israel going into the promised land. Joseph was the middle person. God had to use Joseph to get the children of Israel into Egypt so that the covenant with Abraham could be satisfied, so that they could come out of Egypt for deliverance and go into the wilderness to be led by Moses into the promised land. As we said, there was 300-year silence. There's a 300-year difference between the time that Joseph and all of that generation died out and the time of Moses. That was 300 years. 300 years went by before Moses was born from Joseph. You know, some other materials say something different, but those of you that's really following it, you need to Google it, do a study, find out how old was Abraham when God told him, when did Isaac and Jacob come, when did Joseph come, and when they came into the land by God using Joseph to bring them into Egypt, how long did they live in Egypt before Moses was born? Before that time, a Pharaoh came that did not know them. See, that's very important for us, that learn that lesson, people. That people who migrate and immigrate to different places, you got to keep telling your story. You got to stay connected. You can't be so preoccupied in your own thing that you don't begin to relate to other nationalities and other peoples of the world. That's very important. So for a Pharaoh that comes to power, he didn't know nothing about Joseph. And so that's just like people in the African American community. There are people that don't know nothing about Dr. Martin Luther King. But thank God we have movies, and back in those, we had movies and documentaries and stuff. Back in those days, you know, there were writings, but maybe he chose not to listen, and maybe he didn't take that history. But there rose a Pharaoh that knew not Joseph. And he said, all these Hebrews is around here and they having babies. And so he started this whole situation of aborting and killing the babies and getting the male babies and oppressing and making slaves and all that kind of stuff. But God was in process with that because he used that process and modality to get them out through the Red Sea, get them over into the wilderness to prepare them to go into the ultimate promise, the promised land. And what happened? There were generations. God bless you, my niece Yolanda. I got your message. It was good to hear from you all the way from Jamaica, man. May God continue to bless you and your husband as you continue to do what God has called you to do and be the person that God has made you to be. So as we look at Joseph, but as we conclude this presentation study, I want you to go on your own now and do some research about Joseph. Just like we took Joseph, one of the things you might want to do is the biblical characters. Take a character in the Bible and do a life study. Look at the psychology, their mindset, what they went through. Look at the sociology, the sociological factors in the culture they were in. Sometimes we just read the story and read it. We don't really look at it and make it personal. Go into it and dig out the emotional side. Make it contemporary. Make it come to life. Make it come alive. And so it has been our attempt. We weren't able to do it all. Today we got kind of, we got kind of caught up with I don't know, advanced technology, what it was Facebook or the internet that's chopped up this presentation, Sister Peggy. So this is part 4 of an attempt to do a 1-hour presentation today on Facebook. So when you go back to Facebook and you see our presentation, you're going to see an examination of the life of Joseph, part 3B1, 3B2, 3B3, 3B4. So you're going to listen to all those, watch all those different components to get the total story as we complete the full process of 3 presentations of the life and examination of the life of Joseph. I've enjoyed myself. I've had the greatest time of teaching and sharing in the life of Joseph. There's much more we could say, much more we can say, but we won't because there's just so much to do. But I just thought that this would be enough to understand that God will give you strength in the midst of your problems and your circumstances and whatever you need to do. Remember, from the pit to Potiphar, from the prison to the palace. Those are the P's. The pit, Potiphar's house, the prison, and then the palace. Remember those P's. Now remember the R's from one of our good bishops, late Bishop Ellis. Remember the R's from a robe, a ring, a ride, and relationships. When Joseph, when it came his time, he was given a ring from Pharaoh. He was put on a robe from Pharaoh. He got a ride. That means that he got a chair. We call that a ride. And he got a wife. That's a relationships. And he had 2 sons out of that. So a ring, a robe, a ride, and relationship. Some of y'all, because of your suffering, because of what you went through, as you went from the pit to Potiphar, from the prison to the palace, from the pit to Potiphar, from Potiphar's house falsely accused, to the prison, and from the prison to the palace. And in the palace, you got your auras. From your P's to your aura, you got your robe, you got your ring, you got your ride, you got your relationships. God sent the woman in your life or your significant other, and you got a family of your dreams, and you had a chain around your neck to understand that you was royalty. And then you did some traveling, so you had some recreation, you saw places, you went places, you saw things, and you experienced things, and God gave you positions on things, influence, all of that. God is a way. He said, vengeance is mine, I will repay. God has a way of paying you back for you serving him as a servant. Well, God, I'm your servant. Why did you let me go through all this? God said that all things work together for the good to them that love the Lord, to them that are called. But that's all right. And if you just be faithful in due season, Josh Brinson, in due season, you shall reap if you faint not. Be not weary in well doing. Remember, life is a journey, not a sprint. We want to run through life real fast and don't pay any attention to the signs and the sidebars and the rest stations. God said, no, I want you to pay attention to this is what you've gone through here, and it came to pass and not to stay. I want you to get the lessons of life. I want you to deal with your emotions and your spirituality and your physical. Some of you all went through certain times in your life where you just sick. You didn't even feel like it because your sickness, your disease was something that's going on in your dis-ease in your mind or your spirit or your frustrations or your relationships or whatever had brought you into your health or your spirituality. But know this, that God is yet in control. God is God's sovereign. That's all I want. Is God sovereign? No matter what happens, God is active in the affairs of the life and also in your affairs. So our prayer must be, God, teach me. Teach me to number my days, number one. God, teach me to obey because obedience is better than sacrifice. God, teach me to know your way. Teach me to know your wisdom. Teach me. And then our side is learn. Stay in class. Don't go to sleep in his class. God's going to teach you. That means he's going to send you a teacher. People, places, and things become the teaching hand of God. And then he wants you to take that and make sons and daughters and teach others and share with us. As we do that, no matter where we are, we will see ourselves being benefited by life. And so I thank God, even on today, as we celebrate 79 years, and all of you all that's been saying happy birthday, happy birthday. My phone has been clucking. Well, maybe that's what kicking me off. I'm getting so many calls and messages and texts and messages and calls, and I'm trying to do a watch, a live, whatever, and I'm getting cut off. Anyway, to make a long story short, I got my message across. We so thankful for what God is doing. We thank you for going with us on this journey of the story of Joseph and his life and how God used him. And so, as we continue to study God's word, and as we continue to look at the characters that God used for his glory, then we want to be thankful for what God is doing. So I want to thank you all. This has been Apostle Dr. Sylvester Paul Brinson III of the Brinson Connection and the Brinson Institute. God has continued to bless us. By way of announcements, we've had people call and say, Brinson, we want to give a donation. Well, our Cash App, it's Tabernacle, the number 7. Tabernacle, the number 7. Our Zelle account is our telephone number, 773-616-1951. Hope Outreach Ministries International, Inc. 773-616-1951. You can go on our website, make a donation. Our website is www.thebrinsoninstitute.com. www.thebrinsoninstitute.com. thebrinsoninstitute.com. Go on our website, see our ministries and what God has blessed us to do. Make a donation. Amen. Our book is out. As the second printing of our book is out. You can find it on Amazon. The Sins of the Fathers. The Sins of the Fathers. The Sins of the Fathers. I went on and ordered my book. I mean, we had our books, but I wanted to order to get on there. So those of you, I was told by Amazon that those of you who ordered the book, read through the book and write an overview, write a response and send it to Amazon, because I understand that Amazon kind of moves your book up the chart based upon those people who write a review. So read the book, read part of the book, go back on Amazon and write a review to Amazon, and that'll help move that book up the ladder. It's an informational book. It's not a lot of words. It gets basically to the point. The sins of the fathers, what are they? Iniquities, what are they? How they affect our lives, and how do iniquities go down our bloodline. And then there's a prayer for you to pray to be released from your iniquities. Now remember the pattern and the process in the book on iniquities. You take that same pattern and take the curse process out and put the blessings out. Because the pattern of iniquity and how it goes into the bloodline, the same way your blessings do. The word said, visiting the iniquities of the fathers to the third and fourth generations of them that hate me. Well, by verse, I thought you said somewhere it said you're going to be responsible. Yeah, but it still said those who hate me. Those who hate me, I go back and visit the iniquities of the fathers. So then you want to keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So those of you that are watching us by the watch party, that's been watching us live with all our interruptions, those of you that are now watching us on YouTube with all its various parts, we want to thank you. So remember, those of you on YouTube, those of you that are watching us on Facebook, this is an examination of the life of Joseph, part 3, 4. Yes, today we had to take 4 times. We got shut down within an hour 4 times. So I just said, 4 or 5 times. So you go back and you start watching the study of Joseph, part 3B1. When that run out, scroll down and watch 3B2. When that run out, scroll down and look at a life of Joseph, 3B3. When that run out, scroll down and read and look at and watch a life of Joseph, 3B4 or 3B4, 3B5. But we got it all in our hour. It took us a couple cuts dealing with advanced technology and whatever the situation was. If you're watching us on YouTube, www.Dr. Sylvester Paul Brinson III, all of these component parts will be on if we've saved them, if they've got saved and we capture them. We're going to put them on in those forms. So the life of Joseph, examination part 2, part 3A, part 3A, part 3B1, 3B2, 3B3, 3B4, and 3B5, whatever. Watch those, and that'll give you an overview of the life of Joseph. I thank all of you that has been watching us, and until next time, till next Wednesday, be blessed, and may God continue to bless you is my prayer.